This is the Mesquite Citizen Journal, Barbara Ellisted, and we're at the Family Search Center at the LDS Stake Center on Arrowhead Lane in Mesquite. And we're with John Christensen today, who is going to show us how the computer system works for people who want to search their family genealogy. And so John, we're at one of the computers here in the Family Search Center. So why don't you kind of lead us through, and I'm going to point the camera at the computer screen, but kind of lead us through and tell us what you're doing here.
All right. Well, one of the things we're doing, and I will go over here to an icon called Family Search Indexing.
Okay.
And I'll double click that. And this is utilizing software that connects us with a church database.
Okay, and that's a sign-in screen.
Now this sign-in screen, whoever wants to use this needs to set up, and we have a registration. You notice down here it says register for a new account. And there's nothing secret or anything like that. We just have to give basic information, so then our data is protected.
Okay.
So having signed in, it's loading now. Now this is telling me that there's a batch that I haven't completed, and so it's these batches that are in here I use for training.
Okay.
And if I don't complete them in 7 days, then it takes them away and gives them to somebody else, so it keeps flowing.
Oh. Yeah.
Now this is just guidance, little tip of the day kind of thing, so I'll close that. Now these are messages that we get from both Salt Lake and our own local director of indexing, and you can see they all come in this many languages, so depending on where we're from, we can read it in our own language.
Okay.
Over here we have a chance on the right to set goals and get at results of what we're doing. Now up here, this is where we get our work. Now I'm an indexer. I can be an arbitrator. What happens is we have two people index the same record. One will do it, another one somewhere else in the world will do it. If those match, which is a little bit rare, then we publish them online.
Okay.
If they don't match, they go to an arbitrator. And this is a more trained individual, and they will compare the two and decide what's best. So there are really three sets of eyes that are determining the accuracy of the records. And sometimes the writing is such that it's difficult to interpret.
I bet if it's in different languages.
Now I'm going to download a batch. By clicking on that, I can show all the projects. And you can see here we have English from the UK. If I go up to the top, Argentina, Brazil. So we have capabilities. In fact, our biggest interest is people who speak language here in the United States other than English, because we have a great need to interpret these things. So what I will do, I will go down, for this moment, I'll go down to a community project. Now you notice here, this particular one is in red and it says highest priority. That means that if I don't have any particular choice, then this is the one they're recommending because it's probably closest to being done. And so they're anxious to have that done. So I will click on that, and it's going to download a batch. Now this batch are pictures that have been taken in the original source and location.
Oh, goodness.
That have been put on a hard drive and then made available to us. Now this one is telling me that somebody's partially indexed it. That means they probably didn't get it done in 7 days, and so their work has been passed on. And that's how
interesting.
That's how they keep it rolling. Now this is...
Oh, look at this.
This is telling me read the instructions.
Okay.
And the reason we do that is because the contracts we have with these various places have certain, stipulations that are important that we honor. And so we have them read. Now this particular one is just a portion of a passenger list that's come in shipboard. And these are people who are on board the ship. Now what I have to do is go in and show that it's normal. It's normal because it has information. Sometimes we'll get blank images or duplicates, or nothing you can extract from it.
These are quite old records.
They are, and you can see from the writing that it's sometimes a little bit of a challenge.
It is.
I like to tell the adults who are working with this that we want you to put on your Sherlock Holmes hat. And it's amazing. Sometimes you'll have to look and study the whole thing and see how they make letters, and some may not be clear and others are. And then we tell the teenagers you've got to be a CSI agent because we're trying to involve our youth, and they're finding this is the best game to play, to get on and do these things.
This is fascinating.
So if I go to table entry now that I've dealt with the image, now the image is the entire picture. Once I go to table entry, they want us to extract given names, surnames, age, gender, and place of birth, and that's all we pull off this. Some records have much more information than that, but our interest is to provide an index so that somebody can find the original record and they can get all the other information on it they want.
That's your cell phone.
That's my cell phone. Sorry about that.
In case people are wondering from the video.
So
scroll over this way a little bit so we can see if there's any other.
Now, unfortunately, this particular one doesn't have column titles, which means that probably the record before had it. We're at record 93 now, so
yeah.
I don't know. I can click here and go back and see the previous record. And they don't want us to index because it's probably already been indexed. But even then, we can't go far enough back to see the column titles. But what happens is we can pretty well interpret what it is. We know this is name. Now this is probably first name, last name order. And this would be the age. And this would be wife and son. So this is gender. Sometimes they'll actually tell us female or male, but in this case we're going to have to interpret it from here.